Modular Platform Development, presented by New Stream Innovation. One of the greatest challenges for a global provider of electric wheelchairs is the differences in regional requirements and funding levels around the globe. A highly modular product portfolio will be needed in order to match these needs, but also to keep up with the rapid pace of development in the market as the robotics industry evolves. By focusing R&D efforts on creating a module-based chassis platform, the technology needed for future models can be developed in a way that allows for this flexibility. It also ensures well-defined and contained development projects and risk in future development projects. Instead of assessing market demands based on a single model and running development projects to produce or update single models, we think a broad scope of market requirements should be established based on user needs and benefits. This broad design input can then be used to find the technology modules needed to form the platform for all models and markets. A couple of design concepts based on such a modular way of working is shown as examples in this presentation. We believe that understanding this shift in development strategy is key to maintaining market and technology lead across a rapidly changing industry. Finding and developing the base technology modules for the future of the entire product platform of electric wheelchairs is no small feat. But the alternative is remaining locked in the administrative nightmare of regional adaptation and the overwhelming R&D projects of model thinking. Once a modular platform has been established, the development efforts for design changes or even major generational shifts in technology becomes much more manageable, as it is limited to each module. The design concepts described in this presentation are just examples of modules that could potentially be the building blocks used. They showcase how a few fundamental modules can be used to create the wide variety of configurations or models, all the while maximizing production volume and minimizing development time to market for future upgraded modules. A deep study into the possible architectures must be made in order to establish the optimal interfaces and modules, but based on a strategic decision to remain focused on wheel-based designs or not. At least the drive wheel module can be established early on. It should be very clear to any R&D team that a modern, integrated, highly efficient, and versatile drive unit must be developed in order to provide the base for any future product platform. This image shows the exploded view of a concept design for a module-based chassis system. The base module is a chassis section with hub motor wheels and suspension. Assembling a number of these will result in a 2 to 6 wheeled model. Each module can be driven or passive, have active steering or fixed wheels. For the most basic models, they can be paired with passive pivoting wheels, as is common today. The variability of a system like this is vast and enables the flexibility needed in the market. Individual steering of each wheel would enable on-the-spot turning without the instability of mid-wheel systems. Crab walk and four-wheel steering are also possible with this design. Here we are, showcasing two different ways of working regarding the chassis and seat integration. Depending on feasibility studies and also based on foreseeable use cases for the entire platform, the chassis and seat system can either be integrated into a complete inoperable unit, or developed as two separate units that may live their own lives, development-wise. If the chassis modules are intended to be used in a wider product range, it may be optimal to keep these parts separate from the seating system. But a complete integration may also be very beneficial, as the modules used for articulation and positioning of the seat could function as parts of the chassis system. Common for both these designs is the need for an integrated and efficient hub drive unit. Just like the separate chassis concept, an integrated chair unit may also be designed around base modules that assemble together to form the complete product. In this concept, the base unit is an actuated telescopic leg with a hub drive motor at one end and a rotary actuator at the other. The wheel pivots to enable steering, on-the-spot turning, and sideways drive. It would be available as fixed or telescopic, driven, or with passive trailing wheels in order to accommodate all levels of functionality of the product portfolio. It could also enable step climbing through the combined rotary and telescopic capabilities. The telescopic legs are also what enables the elevated seating and standing position, as seen on the previous slide. Once again, this concept is only one possible way forward, but it showcases the reuse of modules as the main driving force behind the complete platform development. Within all aspects of the product lifecycle, the modular structure enables massive benefits. All the way from the R&D process and the organizational structure of the company itself, to the customer fitting, daily usage, and the product's end of life. When each module is allowed to be the basic building block of the product portfolio, the day-to-day work becomes logical and structured. And minimizing need for administrational workloads really does benefit all parts of the organization. Understanding the wider view of the documentational structure and how the flow of information is matched between market input and design output is crucial. The process flow described here is the key to not only developing the next great product, but to maintaining the best work environment possible, where we all understand the big picture and work together towards a common goal. Modular platform development may feel counterintuitive and inefficient at first, as it requires a wider foundation of understanding for the design requirements of the platform being developed. But the benefits of this method are even greater than the effort needed to overcome the hurdles within it. Allowing concept development that utilizes the latest technologies creates a knowledge base that later on will be matched with the market requirements established by advanced market knowledge and clinical studies. These are the first steps in the process of building a new product platform. What functions are required by the customers of the future? What emerging technologies exist that we can utilize in order to achieve these functions? What efforts are needed to make the technology perform these functions in the ways needed by the users, all within a cost and time envelope that results in economic feasibility? New Stream Innovation: Ideas for a Better Future.